Andrew. We don't just talk about what happens in world soccer. We smoke weed while we do it. So fill up that bowl or roll up a fat one and let's discuss soccer.
Hey Andy, how's it going, my friend?
Hello Alex, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm doing great. Just want to let you know, and I want to let everybody else know, if there's people who are watching this live, this is the first Soccer Bowl live episode on Facebook. I don't know if we're gonna do it on YouTube in the future. I'm gonna see how it works. I don't know if it works fine on Facebook either. So I don't know, maybe we can check it from time to time. But how's it going, man? What's new in the beautiful world of soccer? Of football.
Wow.
Of football.
There are lots of new things, Alex. Great results in the weekend and terrible results as well. A great football weekend, the past weekend. A lot of goals like we predicted. And some nice, interesting transfer in the last day of the transfers. So I think we have a few things to debate today. And I think we are ready. I am ready if you're ready as well.
Yeah, I am ready. I'm checking the live transmission on Facebook. It works perfect. It's really working really good. There's no delays. I hope there's sound. Yep, sounds working perfect. So we're all good to go. Where do you want to start? Or wait, I know where I want to start. You want to talk about the last things that happened in the transfer market, just so we wrap that up?
Absolutely. I think we have to talk a little bit about the transfers, the last transfers.
There was a beautiful triangle that happened with Aubameyang to Arsenal, Giroud to Chelsea, and Batshuay to Dortmund. So it was a swap between these three teams for a striker. Who do you think got the best of this deal?
Obviously, I think Arsenal got the best deal. Aubameyang already proved he's a great player. First game, not even know his colleagues, but he was, like Arsene Wenger said, he played for Arsenal like he was playing for a life there.
Well, he wasn't the only one, but I'm gonna want to talk about that game too. But he knew Mkhitaryan. He's played with Mkhitaryan before, so and that was obvious the way both of them played. I think that was a nice performance.
And they give some Mkhitaryan with 2 assists in the first game for Ramsey.
It was three. Three
Oh.
assists. Yeah, a hat trick of assists for Mkhitaryan and a hat trick for Aaron Ramsey, who scored I think it was his first hat trick for Arsenal.
Unfortunately for me, being Everton supporter.
Yeah, it wasn't the happiest result for you. But what do you think about Chelsea getting Giroud?
I think Giroud is a great player. I still give credits to Giroud, but I don't think he match in Chelsea actual system now, because Conte is playing the counter-attack system and it's not working. We saw that in the past 2 games. So
nothing seems to be working.
Might be a good transfer, but I think it's Batshuay to Dortmund. It's a better transfer than Giroud to Arsenal. So if I have to make a top 3, I think it's Aubameyang to Arsenal, Batshuay to Dortmund, then the last one will be Giroud to Chelsea.
Batshuay, who already played for Dortmund and scored 2 goals against who did they play against?
They play against Köln. Actually, Batshuay scores 3 goals, but one of them was
disallowed. Yeah,
disallowed because was perfectly disallowed because it was an offside. But he was doing a great game as well. I was watching the game and I was hoping, because I told you guys in my picks of the week that Köln will not lose at home, and I was really, really close because in the last 5 minutes was 2-2, but Batshuay decides to score again. So my prediction was wrong.
Well, we'll get to the predictions that we had for last week. We've, for the first time in this episode, we actually wrote them down, and we're gonna show you guys which ones were right and which ones were wrong. But until we get there, any other transfers that happened besides the three? I mean, transfers that we should talk about.
Well, Mangala from City was loaned to Everton.
Oh, really? I didn't know this.
Yeah, he did a
Is he back from injury?
Game.
Oh, so he's back from injury.
He's back from injury, but he made a terrible game against Arsenal, unfortunately, for me and for all the Blues.
Just so people know what we're talking about, the game finished 5-1 for Arsenal.
4-1, I think it was.
No, it was 5-1.
Wow.
That's why you didn't know that Mkhitaryan had a hat-trick of assists. Arsenal won 5-1 for sure. I'm looking at the score in front of me.
Yeah, obviously I didn't.
You stopped at 4-1. Huh? It was.
I stopped watching that game because it was too much for me. So yeah, well, they have Mangala. Everton is having a good team, but they don't have a coach. So
Sam Allardyce not being used to playing attacking football, as we can see by Everton's results. And if they start conceding, it's very hard for them to come back and score goals. So I think that any team, almost any team from the Premier League, if they score first against Everton and they manage to score even one more, if they go to 2 goals up, Everton's not coming back for sure.
No, because Big Sam, I mean, he's not a bad coach, but he don't know to play attacking football. So, and he have lots of attacking players. Like he got Walcott now. He have Sigurdsson. He have Tosun, which is a great player. Bolasie on the side. Koolman is back. So finally they have a left defender. So they have a good team. I'm not going to talk too much because I was talking every single podcast about Everton. I'll wait for them to have results, then I'll talk about them. But what can I tell you? Being here in Liverpool, newspapers, people, fans, they are all upset on Allardyce, and no one wants him in the beginning, and no one wants him anymore.
Do you think they start regretting Ronald Koeman now? You think they start regretting sacking Koeman?
No, I don't think they regret that. And I don't think Koeman regret neither because he's the Netherlands coach now.
Oh, he took from Blind?
Yes.
When did this happen?
I think a week ago.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I was just thinking yesterday, I was at the gym, and I don't know, for some reason it popped in my head. I was thinking about the Netherlands national team, and I was thinking about, they've had a poor run of form for the past years. Their generation wasn't too great, but slowly they start having more players, like players emerging. Like you have Van Dijk, you have Wijnaldum, you have Justin Kluivert. You have these young Dutch players coming up, and I think the Netherlands are going to be a good team in maybe 4 years. They're start gonna. Because I don't think they felt too good being left behind by the Belgium national team. So the Netherlands was historically always better.
Well, they have an excellent team, great players, but they don't play well together like France. If you look at the France national team, it's incredible how many good players they have, but when they don't play well.
You think we can compare the French national team with the Dutch? I don't think the Dutch team right now has the players that the French national team has, not even by far.
No, I think French team is stronger.
Okay, let's move on. If we started with the Premier League, I'm gonna want to ask you about Liverpool, Tottenham.
A few more things to say. I don't know if I mentioned last podcast. Lucas transferred from PSG to Spurs.
Oh, Lucas Moura, no, because that happened right after we finished recording. Okay. So yeah, Lucas Moura, the Brazilian, moved from PSG to Tottenham Hotspurs. He hasn't played in the last game, but we're probably going to see him soon.
João Mario from Inter Milano to West Ham on a loan.
What does João Mario play?
Is a central midfield.
Okay.
So beside that, we have Andre Ayew from West Ham to Swansea. They sold the player for £20 million.
Well, he went back there, right? Because he played for Swansea before.
Yes, he played for Swansea before.
So West Ham bought him from Swansea, and he went back to Swansea.
And Carrillo from Monaco to Southampton. Monaco bought Carrillo from Benfica last year. Carrillo didn't confirm for Monaco, so they sold him to Southampton for £20 million.
This is a striker, right?
Is a center forward, yes. Oh. But he can play on as the left wing as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, doke. So I guess that concludes everything we had for transfers. Another transfer window done, closed. We've had some interesting moves, some interesting players going to some interesting teams, and now we just have to wait and see how are they going to help or not the teams that they switch to. And let's not waste any time, and I think we should start talking about a little bit about the games that we had this weekend. And I want to start with Liverpool against Tottenham, because that was a great game that we had this weekend. It was a game that raised a lot of controversy after it was done, because if you guys didn't see, the game ended 2-2. Liverpool had the lead 1-0. Mohamed Salah, opening the goal after a defensive mistake made by Tottenham. Tottenham got the equalizer with a wonderful strike by Wanyama, right? Victor Wanyama. He scored a screamer of a goal. They're saying it might be the most powerful shot ever recorded.
Which one? Because Wanyama, yes.
Wanyama, yep.
Yes.
Then Tottenham received a penalty.
No.
Which Harry Kane missed. So Tottenham failed to go to 2-1. No.
After Wanyama, they missed the penalty in 87.
Harry Kane missed the penalty in the 87th minute. Then Mohamed Salah by himself, between 5 or 6 opponents, he managed to score the second goal. It was the 91st minute. And then in the very last minute of the game, another controversial penalty. The same Harry Kane goes and takes it, and he scores for 2-2. I've watched replays of both penalties, the play that ended with the penalty, and my opinion is that none of them were supposed to be penalties. I don't know. Have you watched it?
Yes, I watched it. I'm not going to talk about referees, but at least, let's say the first one, the referee position was not great, so probably he couldn't see. But the second one was definitely not a penalty, because everyone saw how Van Dijk took his foot back. So was no intention there. Was definitely not a penalty.
Well, you had the linesman involved in both those decisions. I don't remember seeing a game where you had 2 penalties, controversial penalties, and for both of those the linesman has a decision in it. That was the big fuss about that. They say the linesman might have had bad intentions to begin with, and he just gave those penalties for free.
I don't think it's such a big level talking about Premier League. I don't think they have bad intention in the Premier League. It was just a bad day for the referee. Or at least this is what I want to think. I want to believe it was no intention.
Well, it's a bad day for the referee, but that takes 2 points from Liverpool, a victory which a lot of people say they didn't actually deserve. I say if you scored 2 goals that were goals, and the other team scored 2 goals scored 1 goal out of a penalty that wasn't, I think you deserved to win. But apparently not everybody's on the same decision. But what do you think? Will this result affect these 2 team standings by the end of the season? You think this is going to be a point where everybody's going to be looking at back at, and they're gonna say if that referee could have just took the correct decision and not give that penalty, we might have.
No. Definitely not. No, because Chelsea helped them to don't regret this result.
Yeah, I want to move on to Chelsea after this one. But if you already started, I think we completed everything about Liverpool, Tottenham. What do you think happens at Chelsea, man? Because they've been losing points, like ever since that talk started with Mourinho. Conte is in a really bad form. His team is in a really bad form.
Rumors, they are saying that players, they don't want Conte anymore.
So he's being sabotaged by the dressing room?
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
you see this happening. You see this happening so often nowadays. Do you think it's something that's normal? I think I've asked you this before. It just seems weird. I think I asked you when we were talking about Zidane and Real Madrid.
It's not normal, but when you have so many, you make these players, instead of keeping them as a football players, you make them VIPs. So obviously, when you make them VIPs, and they think they are VIPs, they think they have a big decision to take there, and they're trying to sabotage everything to do in the way they like. Players, they say they was just saying in the newspaper with an unknown person. I mean, it was a few players from Chelsea saying that they got bored from the same coaching tactics and same motivational text from Conte. Nothing changed. Nothing is the same thing every single game, and they don't want him anymore. So it might be probably this is one of the reasons of what happened to Chelsea now.
It was so funny that now I've seen it all over the internet. What Conte has said after their last season, after they won the Premier League, they said they want to avoid the Mourinho season. He's not having quite a Mourinho season yet, but if it continues like this, he might end up even worse than a Mourinho season after a first season that he won the league.
I don't think a Mourinho season will happen again because Abramovich is not so stupid to leave the things go so forward. So he's gonna stop. If these things still go on like that, he's gonna put an end there, and he's gonna change something, because in the end it's his team. He's spending the money there, and I heard that he's looking to bring Luis Enrique.
Yeah, we were just. I heard. I had a conversation with somebody recently. I don't remember exactly who he was. Because we were talking about big coaches that don't have a team yet, like Ancelotti, and I forgot about Luis Enrique, and he said, "Man, remember, there's Luis Enrique who had 2 or 3 very good seasons with Barcelona. He took a year off, and soon enough we might see him at one of the big clubs." And he was actually saying something. It might even be Chelsea if they keep playing like they're doing right now. So yes. I'm hearing this from you too. I'm guessing this is a real. This is something that people really think about.
Yeah. Now, because we've been talking about Premier League, would you like to inform everyone what happened in the past days, in the past week in the Premier League, and the top results?
Yeah, definitely.
The stats, I mean.
Definitely. Manchester City was held away at Burnley 1-1. Leicester drew at home 1-1 against Swansea. Bournemouth managed a win against Stoke 2-1. Brighton won against West Ham 3-1. United coming back with a victory after they lost against Tottenham. They won 2-0 at Old Trafford against Huddersfield. West Bromwich Albion lost at home. A insane game, man. 2-3 against Southampton. A very beautiful game for anybody who had the chance to sit and watch this game. It was worthwhile. Then we had Arsenal play against Everton. Arsenal won, like we said earlier, 5-1. Crystal Palace played at home against Newcastle, only 1-1. And Liverpool, in the last game of the weekend, Tottenham actually managed a draw 2-2. And the standings still the same. City in first place, United in second, Liverpool in third, Chelsea fourth, Tottenham in fifth, and Arsenal in sixth. 18th, Stoke 19th, Huddersfield, and 20 West Bromwich Albion. But still, the fight for the bottom is still... Everybody's still in danger all the way up to...
Everton.
All the way up to Everton, yeah, probably.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know about what happened in Premier League. So I think we should go through a little bit to Serie A to let the people know what happened this weekend in Serie A.
Definitely.
Yes, we start Saturday with two games, which was one was Sampdoria-Torino 1-1. Tough game for both teams. Sampdoria, everyone knows it's hard to win at Sampdoria. Second game, Internazionale Milano-Crotone 1-1. Internazionale...
They screwed our betting tips. Both of us said that Inter is going to win for sure because they had so many bad results. They need a victory just to get them out of this. It didn't happen. Only a 1-1. What's up with that, man? What's going on at Inter Milano?
I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's Spalletti's fault or if are the players, but it's the same team that was playing great in the beginning of the season, beating
when
everyone.
They were first.
Yes. So something has to happen there. Either changing the coach or doing some changes in the team because it's not right, man. Not right drawing with Crotone. But without being disrespectful for the Crotone fans.
Well, just so people understand why we're saying that, Crotone is on 17th place. So while Inter right now is on 4th, but Inter used to be on first place. They used to be leaders. Now every game week they're losing points. They're going deeper and deeper. Roma got 1 point close to them.
Yeah.
So Roma is very close to them. Lazio went above them with 1 point. So
okay.
Inter need to recover back if they wanna get one of those Champions League spots.
Hopefully they will come back to a good shape this weekend with Bologna, but we will talk about this next podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on, Sunday, early game, Hellas Verona-Roma, 1-0 for Roma, great result. Everyone knows Verona's stadium is one of the toughest stadiums to play, so they got a victory there.
And considering the bad form that Roma was in before this game, it was even better for them. They managed to get a victory away on a very difficult stadium. It's good for their morale. They got 1 point closer to Inter Milano, so they soon might go back into that Champions League spots.
Atalanta-Kiev, 1-0 for Atalanta. Atalanta confirmed was not a mistake that they are up in the table. They are playing a great football, and hopefully they can get a spot in Europe.
Atalanta
again.
On 7th place, 2 points behind Sampdoria.
Bologna-Fiorentina, finally Fiorentina won away 2-1 at Bologna. Udinese-Milan 1-1, which is a good result for Milan, I think, because
especially they had a red card.
A red card, and Udinese, to play away at Udinese, it's very hard. Juventus-Sassuolo 7-0 for Juventus. Juventus, great team, man.
They destroyed Sassuolo. You want to tell people who scored the goals?
2 Khedira, 3 Higuain, 1 Alexandro, and 1 Pjanic with a torpedo.
If Khedira scores 2 goals, you can imagine what kind of it means Sassuolo didn't have any midfield. If they let Khedira go all the way.
But everyone knows Juventus for being one of the teams to reborn players that they didn't confirm in the past. Look at the players. Khedira, Douglas Costa, Benatia, they have now Matuidi.
Szczęsny, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Szczęsny, Mandzukic. They didn't play nothing before, but look how good they play now for Juventus.
Yep, there's something around that club, something in the atmosphere, I think, in Torino that
probably
gives players the confidence they've lost.
Moving on, guys, Cagliari Spal 2-0 for Cagliari, Benevento Napoli 2-0 for Napoli. Benevento is already half in the second league. Then on Monday, the last game was a surprise, at least for me. Lazio, they lost home 2-1 against Genoa.
For me too, not just for you.
So, in this condition, we have at the table like that. First place, Napoli, 60 points. Second place, Juventus, 59 points. Third place, Lazio, 46. Fourth place, Inter, 45. Fifth place, Roma, 44. On the bottom of the table, sitting Spal with 17 points, Hellas Verona, 16 points, and Benevento with 7 points. I don't think they have any chance to survive in the Serie A.
It was a nice run for them, for one season, but I think it's time to go back to Serie B and let teams who actually might give a challenge to other teams. Because it's one thing I don't like about the teams that come from the second divisions is those teams that they come and they end up the last, in their first season. It's like they don't even try. The difference between the style of Serie A and Serie B is so big that they couldn't adapt at all. And how many points does Benevento have?
7.
Yeah, see, 7 points in 21 games? How many games they played?
23.
23 games, 7 points. That's awful, man. Let somebody else play,
Well, that's the difference. The bottom 7 points, the top 60 points. So now you know the difference.
10 times, almost 10 times more.
Which championship would you like to talk about now to let us know about the result?
I say let's move to the Bundesliga, and we're going to start with the game that we spoke about earlier, where Batshuay scored 2 goals and had the third one disallowed. FC Köln lost at home against Dortmund, 2-3, crazy game. Then Saturday we had Wolfsburg against Stuttgart. Stuttgart 1-1. Mainz lost at home against the leaders Bayern München, another victory for Bayern. Schalke surprisingly lost at home against Werder Bremen. This was a local derby. Bremen lost 2-1. Freiburg against Bayer Leverkusen 0-0. Hertha Berlin against Hoffenheim 1-1. Borussia Mönchengladbach lost at home against Red Bull Leipzig 1-0. Augsburg managed to get a victory against Frankfurt, so the teams sitting on 6th, Augsburg on 7th, Frankfurt on 6th. Augsburg wins 3-0, and Hamburg at home 1-1 against Hannover 96. First team Bayern München with 53 points. My opinion, they're already champions. Bayer Leverkusen sits on second with the same number of points as Red Bull Leipzig, 35. Another good season for Red Bull, so they were not just one season wonder, which is awesome to see. Borussia Dortmund on 4th, 34 points, so only 1 point behind. Same number of points as Schalke, who sit on 5th. Frankfurt on 6th, 33 points. Augsburg on 7th, 31 points, the same as Mönchengladbach. So here the fight for the number 2, 3, and 4 spot is still very tight. Everybody still has chances. The last 3 spots at the bottom of the league, Mainz on 16th, Hamburg on 17th, and Köln, the last one. I feel bad to see Köln as being one of the last teams. Köln is such a beautiful city, and they have such a nice set of supporters. It's and even them and Hamburg too, And I see Bremen and Stuttgart over there and Wolfsburg. Great teams, man, who are not having a great season in the German Bundesliga.
Honestly, Hamburg is fighting every single year for surviving.
For some time, yeah. You're right. They got into that. I remember when they were playing UEFA and Champions League. Those times are long gone.
Well, thank you for telling us about Bundesliga. I think we should go fast to France now, and I'll let you talk about Spanish League.
Okay, Liga.
In France, Friday, Olympique Marseille met. Crazy game, 6-3 for Olympique Marseille. Marseille is playing great football this season.
Marseille had what? 5? Was it 5-0 at some point, or
5-1?
5-1. Yeah,
5-0.
Because the game was just insane, man.
Yeah,
I can see it here. No, man, it was 5-0.
5-0, yes.
Because Metz scored all the first goal 73rd, 84th, and 90th minute.
Yeah.
Incredible, man. Incredible.
Moving on, Lille, PSG, 3-0 for PSG. Amiens, Saint-Etienne won at Amiens with 2-0. They got a new coach, so they got some good football as well now. Montpellier, Angers, 2-1 for Montpellier. Nice, Toulouse, surprise. Toulouse win away at Nice with 1-0. Strasbourg, Bordeaux, 2-0 for Bordeaux. Weird game as well. Strasbourg was playing great at home, but Bordeaux, in the last 3 games, they play very good football. Sunday we had Rennes, Guingamp. Rennes scored in the last 5 games, every single game, at least 2 goals. They lost 1-0 against Guingamp. Caen, Nantes, 3-2 for Caen. Nantes was leading 2 times with 1-0 and 2-1, and they lost in the end 3-2. And the last game, Monaco, Olympique Lyon. The game we told you last week you have to watch because you'll see lots of goals, and it was 3-2 for Monaco.
Yep, a comeback from Monaco after Lyon was leading 2-0.
And the table looks like that now. First place, PSG, 62 points. Probably the champions. Battle on the left. Second place, Olympique Marseille, 51. Third place, Monaco, 50 points. Fourth place, Olympique Lyon, 48 points. In the bottom of the table, we have Lille with 25 points, Troyes with 24 points, and Metz with 18 points.
Okay, so that concludes the French Ligue 1. Let's move on to the Spanish League, La Liga, where we had a crazy weekend, full of surprises. And we're going to start Friday with Real Sociedad against Deportivo La Coruña, 5-0 for Sociedad. I was waiting for them to win, but not at this rate. Honestly, 5-0, it's a huge score. I actually bet that Deportivo was going to score a goal. It didn't happen. Then Saturday we had Eibar manage the first surprise against Sevilla, 5-1 for Eibar. They destroyed Sevilla, and I don't think anybody on this planet who watches soccer could have even in their wildest dreams expect this to happen. Then we had Betis Sevilla win against Villarreal at home 2-1. Alaves won against Celta Vigo 2-1. Levante, another surprise, 2-2 at home against Real Madrid. Real Madrid lose another 2 points. At the end of the game, another disappointing game for Real Madrid, and Zidane's, my opinion, he's 99% out from Real Madrid at the end of the season. Then we have Getafe draw 0-0 at home against Leganés. Espanyol in the derby of the city of Barcelona, 1-1 against FC Barcelona. Barcelona managed a late equalizer, so Barcelona lucky to get that 1 point. We had Girona win at home against Athletic Bilbao 2-0, and then for another derby, Atletico Madrid won. Atletico Madrid style 1-0 against Valencia, and the table looks like this. Barcelona in first place with 9 points above Atletico Madrid, who sits in second. Valencia 9 points less than the second place on third with 40 points. Real Madrid sit on fourth, 39 points. So now there is a difference of 19. Is it 19 points? Yep. 19 points between Barcelona and Real Madrid, which is just crazy. Last 3 spots in the relegation zone: Deportivo La Coruña, Las Palmas, and Malaga.
Thank you.
I think I forgot a game. Yep, there was Las Palmas Malaga, a game on Monday. So the game between the 19th and the 20th spot, Las Palmas managed to win in the last minute 1-0. Another game that I bet that Las Palmas is going to score. I was lucky last minute of the game. They scored and they won 1-0. It was a 6-point game. You know how they call this games at the bottom of the league when teams at the relegation play against each other. If you win against, it's like 6 points.
Who's getting the red light?
Well, Malaga, they're the last ones, 13 points. So everybody else is at least 4 points above. I don't know if Malaga is going to be able to make it. Everybody else seems to be pretty much okay. But
well, if you notice on the bottom of the table, just as a joke, they are the city with the great weather, like Las Palmas and Malaga. So probably the players that are enjoying too much laying on the beach instead of playing football.
It's too sunny and they got in that mood where they don't want to put the effort in. Okay, so that's those are the results and the highlights of this past weekend. What's going on next, Andy?
We should go next to our games that we suggest to watch, the interesting games of the week. This is how we like to name this chapter of the podcast. As always, I have 4 picks of the games to watch. And if you have any more to add, will be great to hear them. I will start with the derby of the North London, which is Tottenham Arsenal.
And Tottenham have their 3rd killer game in a row after playing against United, Liverpool. Now it's Arsenal's turn, and then they have Juventus in the Champions League. So Tottenham are going through a crazy run right now.
Yes, well, it's a great club. Great clubs, they have tough games. So if they want to have this name, they have to manage to play every single game.
Yeah, if they want to prove they're great, it's time for them to step up and show everybody that they can do it. Okie doke, next game.
So, next game, Napoli-Lazio. Lazio, they lost home. A surprise last week. We already talked about Napoli. They can't afford doing a mistake or a bad step. So, it will be an interesting game. I still believe Napoli will win this game, but it will be an interesting game to watch. Then we have Fiorentina-Juventus. Fiorentina, even if it's not in a great shape, great form, they're still playing a good football against tough teams. And I think Juventus will have a difficult game in Firenze next weekend.
Okay.
And the last game is a game, I was surprised with this game, but it's football in every country. And it's the derby in the Romanian Championship will be FCSB Steaua Bucharest against CFR Cluj.
Yep, the second place meet the first place. They're 1 point difference, or what's the difference right now?
2 points difference. It's still going to be a playoff, but with this new transfer will be a good test for both teams to see who's the best team. I don't know, guys, if you're going to watch this, but we have people watching us from Romania as well, so I thought it would be nice to mention about this game.
Yep, that's a nice thought. See, that's not something I would have thought about. Are those all the games that you suggest?
Yes.
I have one more. I have Bayern München against Schalke. I know it's gonna be probably a easy victory for Bayern München, but still, Schalke is there, very close to the second. I mean, same number of points as. Same number, 1 point less than the team that sits in second. So Schalke are really fighting for that second place. I think it's going to be an interesting game. They don't have many chances, but still, it would be a game that I would watch. Maybe Leon Goretzka plays for Schalke against his next team, so I want to see how he does.
Yes, so good games to watch this weekend, guys. Keep an eye on football and let us know which one is the best. Was the best game from these selected games. And what's next, Alex? Do you think we should go to the minute of history now?
Yeah, I agree. Who do you have today for us? Who are we gonna learn some interesting facts about today?
The Little Donkeys.
And that's the name they use for
for SSC Napoli.
Okay.
So this weekend we're going to talk a little bit, 1 minute or probably 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever, about Napoli. The first club was founded as Naples Football Cricket Club in 1904 by English sailor William Potts and his associate Hector Bayon. In the beginning, in Italy, was the football teams they've been playing North and South was not a championship for the South teams. So Napoli was playing with the Sailors team and Palermo and all those teams from the South, and they become officially registered in the Serie A in 1926.
So almost 100 years for them too.
Yes. No, not 200. From 1904 to 1926, they are 22
Oh,
years.
wait. Yeah. So it's more than 100 years. Well, I've been saying since they've been registered in the Serie A.
Yes. Obviously, everyone knows the symbol of Napoli is Diego Maradona. Is the player who became a saint for the inhabitants of the city. He arrived in 1984, gives Naples a pride back, and helped them to their 2 Scudetti and their only European trophy, the UEFA Cup.
For people who don't know, the Scudetti is the name of the Italian league.
League. So they have 2 league titles, 5 national cups, and 1 UEFA Cup. As a good players to mention that past they've been playing on Napoli. Well, it's Diego Maradona, Ciro Ferrara, Andrea Carnevale, Fernando De Napoli, Antonio Carecca, Bruno Giordano, Gianfranco Zolo, Fabio Cannavaro, Ezequiel Lavezzi, Gonzalo Higuain, and there are lots of interesting things about Napoli guys. Cavani, still playing. Hamšík, it's not playing. So that was the minute about Napoli guys. So they had from the beginning the jersey, the T-shirt was a ocean blue, and they had a navy blue for the outside games. They still have the same types now. And if you want to discover more things about Maradona in Napoli, go ahead and read more about Napoli. Nice team, nice supporters, and that was all about Napoli.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. This is probably the only way I'm gonna find out history of the Italian clubs since I'm not that much into the Serie A. It's a good opportunity for me to learn some stuff, and it's interesting. Like, I honestly didn't know anything about Napoli, and now I know. So thank you very much. What are we doing? Are we going straight into? We're at the 43rd minute mark, so I think
it's time to move on.
Yeah, so I think it's time to move on to the last week's betting tips, and
I'll go very fast to the tips. I was giving you. I mean, not tips. Tips sounds wrong. The game my suggestions. So. I give you 10 suggestions, guys. I was wrong with 4. I had 6 good. Köln, Dortmund, like I told before, I told you Köln not to lose at home, but they managed to lose in the last 4 minutes. West Bromwich Albion, Southampton. I told you West Ham not to lose. They lost 3-2. Then I have Man United to win. They won. Fulham, Nottingham Forest, 1 or draw. Fulham won. They're playing a great football. Inter Milano, Crotone, surprise for everyone. They draw again. Motherwell, Patrick Tristan from Scotland, which I told you will be a tough game, but they're not going to lose, was a draw. Novara Ascoli, big surprise for me because Novara, they took some good players on loan, but they still managed to lose with Ascoli at home. Benfica, Rio Ave, Benfica won. Green. Uzmanlispor, Kayserispor, draw or Kayserispor, green. And in the end, Juventus, Sassuolo, Juventus to win, green as well.
Okay, so now people can see it on the screen. I've had some difficulty, so sorry for that. I think it's because of the live stream. We had some delay on the slides showing on the screen, but I hope you guys now you're gonna see it on the screen for a little while. Okay, let's move on to what I've suggested for you guys, and I've had 7 out of 9, so 7 good bets out of 9. I've had Marseille against FC Metz 1, Köln against Dortmund over 1.5, Arsenal against Everton over 1.5, Schalke against Bremen over 2.5, Freiburg against Leverkusen over 1.5 goals. This was a game that ended in 0-0, so no goals scored. It was a little bit of a surprise, but those happen sometimes. Then we had the Dutch League where we had PSV Eindhoven play against Zwolle, and I had over 2.5. I think PSV won 5-0, 5-1, something like that. Or 3-1, sorry. Inter Milano play against Crotone, won. Everybody knows by now that was a wrong bet. Inter Milano drew. So this was my second lost bet. And then I had Liverpool Tottenham to score. And then Monaco Lyon over 1.5. It finished 3-2. So no worries on that game.
Very good job, Alex.
Yep, I have to say that I had a pretty good week even for my betting strategy. I got to the fifth or the fourth step, I think, and then I lost, and then I restarted, and now I'm at the third, going on the fourth. There were no games to bet on today. For me, I didn't see anything that I would bet on. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow. There's some Dutch League. Maybe I'm going to bet some goals. If not, I'm going to wait till Friday. And I'm going to move on with the fourth step because I really like this strategy. And I think that once you get into a good zone, your confidence grows enough that, you're able to spot games better. Because I see myself, I usually bet on the same teams.
Yeah.
So I have my eyes on a number of teams that I like to bet because I know them by now. I've been betting on them for months now, and I know how they play. I know what they have, what they don't have. I know the opponents that they're going to play against. So it's more of a science than luck by now. You need luck too, because that's involved too. If there's a day when Sevilla loses 5-1 against Eibar at home, then, that's it. But it's mostly science. You study, you see what goes on, and then you can very closely predict what's going to happen. And speaking of predictions, we're done with the ones we had last week. So I think it's time to show people what we have for this week. And should we start with yours?
Absolutely.
Okay, people are going to see it on their screen right now.
I have 10 games again for you guys. Hopefully a little bit better than last week. I have Saint-Étienne, Olympique Marseille. Olympique Marseille not to lose the game. So Olympique Marseille will draw. Then we have Bordeaux, Amiens. Bordeaux to win either half. Olympique Lyon, Rennes, Olympique Lyon to win. Leipzig, Augsburg over 1.5. Borussia Dortmund, Hamburg 1. Borussia to win. Second Bundesliga, Zwei Bundesliga, Union Berlin, Fortuna Düsseldorf. Draw or Fortuna Düsseldorf. Düsseldorf is playing very well. I don't think they will lose. I think there will be a draw this game. Everton, Crystal Palace, both teams to score. West Ham, Watford. Watford to score. Standard Liège, Mouscron. Standard to win. They are playing a great football, especially at home. And the player Marin is scoring or assisting every single game. Then in the end, I have a game from Turkish League. Göztepe with Osmanispor. Göztepe not to lose at home. Göztepe, they have a great coach. He's the coach that been before at Beşiktaş. They are a big surprise. And they are in the top 10, and they're never gonna lose this home at home. They lose this game at home.
You and your Turkish league, man. I don't know what it is with your Turkish league. Okay, let's. So you have 10 games, right?
10 games.
10 games. Hopefully they're gonna turn out good. Let's go to my games. Which I have Saint-Étienne against Olympique Marseille. I have over 1.5 goals with an odd of 122. I think it's a really good odd for this game. With Marseille scoring a boat of goals, like even today, right now, as we speak. I think the game might have ended, but they played in the cup and it was 7-0 at one point. So Marseille are scoring a lot of goals. Tottenham against Arsenal. I'm going for Tottenham to score again. They have a smaller odd than they had against Liverpool, but it's still 1.12. I think it's very probable to happen. Tottenham are scoring goals. They don't mind playing against big teams. They score against the big teams, so I'm seeing Tottenham to easily score a goal against Arsenal. Then I have Everton against Crystal Palace. I saw your bet was both teams to score. I'm going to go on Everton to score with odd of 128. Moving on to Toulouse, Paris Saint-Germain over 1.5, 114. I have a lot of small odds, but if you put them together, these are odds that are very likely to turn out good. So, I don't know. This is what I went for this week. This is what I found. Borussia Dortmund against Hamburg, over 1.5 with an odd of 118. Bayer Leverkusen against Hertha Berlin, Leverkusen to win, 145 odd. Frankfurt against Köln. Frankfurt are not gonna lose. They're gonna win or draw, 119. Villarreal against Alaves. Villarreal to score, 116. Southampton against Liverpool. Liverpool to score for an odd of 116 again. Lyon against Rennes. Lyon to win, 150. I know it's a tough game. Rennes have been scoring a lot of goals lately, but Lyon lost against Monaco, and I'm pretty sure at home they're going to do a good job and they're going to get this victory against Rennes. And for the last game, Werder Bremen against Wolfsburg, over 1.5 with an odd of 128. I have a total of 11 games. So one game more than you had. Last week you had more games than I did. Like we always say, guys, don't put all the games on one parlay. Try and put them in different ones. Try to make I play for an odd of 2. If you want to play for a bigger odd, that's your choice. Don't play all of them on one ticket because the chances are it might not turn out good. You might have games like we had last week, that Inter against Crotone, which, nobody would have thought anything would happen, but it did, and that would have make you lose the rest of the games that were green. And there was a lot, both from me and from Andy. I had 7, Andy had 6, which is not bad. Try finding 6 or 7 games every day that you get right, and you'll be a rich man.
True.
And I think this is it with our betting tips. I hope you guys wrote them down. And if you didn't, just rewind the podcast and you'll see them over there at the end. For people who watch us live on Facebook, there's not too many of them. There was 4 at one point. I think it was the most. There's 2 right now, but still, man, I'm glad that it works. This was more of a test. I see that it works fine. Sound works perfect. Image works perfect. There's a little bit of delays from time to time, but those are going to get fixed. And we want to thank you guys who are watching live, who are listening live. If you haven't, you're going to find the recording on Facebook and on YouTube. Our YouTube channel, The Soccer Bowl. Also find us on SoundCloud. Same thing, just type in The Soccer Bowl, Spotify, The Soccer Bowl, and everywhere else where you get your podcasts. You have anything else to add at the end, Andy, before we say goodbye to these beautiful listeners of ours?
Just to say thank you to all of you guys for being again with us. And I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and hope you'll be back with us next week. All the best from Andy from here, Liverpool.
And again, before I leave, if you play any of our suggestions, take a print screen of whatever, your dashboard on your betting account or your physical parlay, whatever. Just put a picture and attach it put it on Facebook or put it on YouTube in the comments, and let us know if you play what we suggest to you, because we play and it works pretty good for us. So I don't know. We want to know if you share the same view we have, on soccer betting. And until next week, all the best wishes from Wisconsin. Alex is out. Andy, it was a pleasure like always.
Pleasure for me as well.
And we will see you guys next week on Tuesday. We're going to do it on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. If it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday. It just depends on our work schedules. But we will definitely see you with another week of great soccer information, some game analysis, and the best betting tips you can get for free. So until next week, you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Peace out.